Hey y'all, I'm Tiana Michelle and welcome back to my channel. For this week's Vlogmas video, we're just gonna chat, so get you a little something to drink and let's get into it. I'm doing my hair and makeup, and before we even get into this thing, I must say that God blessed me with a head full of hair, but he didn't give me the eyebrows, so we're filling them things in. But I've been reflecting on this past year and just these past few years in general, and I think that COVID kind of stunted my growth to where I didn't feel my age, because it was like the world paused and the things that I planned just did not happen. So even though I'm 27, mentally I feel like I'm 25. And you know, they say that your frontal lobe fully develops at 25. So at this year, I just realized so much about myself. This goes beyond the surface level, but I'm gonna keep it at the surface level for now. But I had to accept who I am for the sake of my channel. Even with me attempting to do Vlogmas this year, I've realized that vlogging every day isn't realistic for me, because I feel like I live a repetitive lifestyle and it's not something that people necessarily aspire to. And I think that's a very important aspect to have with successful vlogs. Like, I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary. I live a normal life. Yeah, I'm a content creator, but this is also my first full year as a full-time content creator, which requires so much consistency, so much repetitiveness in order to continue putting out content on a consistent basis and maintaining. There's just so much stuff. I'm also a very private person, and when I first started content creating, I thought that that would be a negative thing, but I'm starting to see now that, especially like with watching other people, that having your privacy is a good thing. And as much as I love my audience, there are certain things that I don't want people commenting on. And I was struggling when I first started vlogging, because I was like, will that make me boring? Not going deep into these private things for the sake of entertainment. Will it make me be considered boring? And the idea of being considered boring used to scare me. But now I embrace that, because my privacy is just so important to me. And I'm already on social media where just even sharing my hair and my face is putting me out there into the world. And I'm putting these videos out into the world that once they're out, and there's nothing I can do about it. But when it comes to my private life, I am not doing anything crazy. Like I said, I live a repetitive, normal life, but I still don't want that out. Like, I want that to be mine, and I don't want to share that. Those of you who watch my videos, the reason why I love and rock with y'all is because I think y'all are the same way. You guys value privacy. You don't ask invasive questions. We be having a good time over here. We talk about hair, we talk about our nails, lifestyle, our health. Sometimes I'll be reading comments under other people's videos and I'll be like, whoa, the boldness and audacity to ask that question is wild. Definitely a thing in early YouTube days, and the same mistakes are being repeated over on TikTok, because it's hard for people to find that balance. But I truly do believe that people who consume content and people who create content can have and grow authentic connections without it crossing those parasocial boundaries. At the same time, I think it's important for people to do what works for them. There are people who are open books, and it doesn't bother them at all to be open with their lives. And if that works for them, then that works for them, and they will find their people. But there are also people like me who are more reserved and don't want to share those things. And I still believe that I have my people, I'm growing my people, and we're good. Now, I can't say that I had the same mindset 4 years ago, because I really don't know. Between therapy and maturing, I really believe my mindset has evolved a lot. For one, I realized that if I want to get to next phases in my life and to grow, I have to start imagining myself in these positions. I used to want to do these things. Like, I would say, ooh, I want to travel to Tokyo. That's just like a basic example. But I never imagined myself being in Tokyo. I never thought about how would I get there? Would I save up? What steps would I take to get to that point? And once I started imagining myself in the positions and places that I wanted to be, some of those things are starting to happen. Now, I don't mean that everything is going to happen all at once and that you will get it on the first time, because Lord knows I didn't. But I think it's important to be okay with the fact that things won't happen when you want it to, and to not take what you view as rejection personally. For example, I finally had the courage to apply for Sephora Squad, and I made it to being a finalist, and I was so excited, and I was like, oh, I'm just close, I'm gonna make it, like I just might make it, and I didn't. But I was so happy for everyone who did make it, and that brought up other feelings for me too, where I had to be okay with the conflicting emotions of being happy for other people and also being like, man, I'll be so happy when it's my turn. I can also talk about this now, but I was invited to Chicago earlier in the year to do a photo shoot with Curl Mix for their launch in Ulta. Like, that was my first time ever being a part of a photo shoot, and it was an amazing experience. I had to keep this a secret for pretty much most of the year, and I was like, oh my gosh, I worked with this brand that I enjoy. I am going to be in Ultas all over the country. Like, this is gonna be amazing. I started imagining myself going into Ulta and seeing a photo of myself on the end cap and vlogging about it and sharing this experience with you guys all as a surprise. Because there were so many beautiful women who were a part of this photo shoot, from other content creators to models to women who have been using Curl Mix since the very beginning. I just don't think it would have been possible for everybody to have made the final photos that actually made it into Ulta. None of the photos that I was a part of actually ended up being in the final displays in Ulta, but I am truly happy for the women who did. Like I said, I've never been a part of a photo shoot before, and everyone just got along so well. These are some of the sweetest ladies I've ever met. And the fact that my first ever participation in a photo shoot was a part of something so big is an experience that I will always cherish and I will never forget. Y'all, I've never really celebrated myself. I've had one birthday party and it was when I was 6. So this year I just wanted to really let my wins and good things sink in and not just let them pass me by and be like, okay, now what's next? Day 1 of this year started off right for me. I got engaged. Like, I get to marry my best friend. I may not have made it into Sephora Squad, but I was a finalist and I took that jump to apply, okay? Y'all know us Southerners stay in the South and we don't really venture out, which is why I'm really trying to get into traveling, because this can't be my life. But I went to Chicago and Detroit for the first time ever. I surpassed 100,000 followers on Instagram, 50,000 on TikTok, and over 60,000 subscribers here on YouTube. I'm glad y'all can't see my face because I said I would never boo-hoo cry on the internet. My entire life I have used being humble as an excuse to not even acknowledge the little tiny good things that happen in my life. And there's just too much bullshit going on in the world for me to not celebrate myself and for you to not celebrate yourself. I don't know if you need to hear this, but you're not bragging, you've earned it. I thought sure 2016 and 2020 were going to be my years, but they just about took me out. It's something about them leap years, so I ain't even going to speak on what next year would bring, but all I'm going to say is let's get it. But I'll see y'all in next week's vlog.